Ladies and gentlemen, when we gather in moments like this, it isn't just about politics, titles, or positions. It's about vision. It's about what we stand for, the values we protect, and the future we dare to create together. Too often the world tells us to look at the surface, to be distracted by noise, by criticism, by the things that divide us. But if we pause for just a moment, we begin to see that the real story isn't written in headlines. It's written in character. It's written in resilience, in grace, in courage, and in the quiet strength of those who lead not for applause, but for purpose. As we step into 2025, we are not just turning a page on the calendar. We are shaping the beginning of something greater, something that demands clarity, dignity, and vision. Tonight, I want you to listen not only with your ears, but with your heart, because what we discuss here isn't about yesterday's challenges, it's about tomorrow's possibilities. And if you stay with me until the very end, I promise you will see that this message isn't just about one person. It's about all of us. It's about the strength we carry within, and the future we can build together when we choose to lead with integrity, with compassion, and with unwavering determination. This is not simply a speech, it's an invitation to see beyond what divides us, to embrace the values that unite us, and to walk forward with confidence into a future defined not by doubt, but by hope. That is what Melania Trump 2025 represents, and that is why you must hear this entire message, because within it lies not just a story, but a direction, a reminder, and an inspiration we all need right now. There is something truly powerful about grace, especially when it is paired with resilience. Grace is not simply about elegance or appearance. It is about how one carries themselves in the most difficult moments, when the world is watching, and sometimes when the world is waiting for you to stumble. True resilience is not loud, it does not need to make announcements, and it never seeks recognition. It is steady, quiet, and unshakable, and that is what makes it so extraordinary. When we look around us, it is easy to find examples of people who push forward by force or by noise, but the real strength often comes from those who move with calm determination. It is the ability to endure criticism without losing your sense of self, to face adversity without compromising your values, and to rise above the negativity that so often surrounds those who step into the public eye. That is the kind of resilience that inspires not because it shouts, but because it stands firm with dignity. Every one of us will face moments in life where our patience, our faith, and our character are tested. It might be in our careers, in our personal lives, or in the relationships we cherish most. And in those moments, we have a choice. We can either let the pressure define us, or we can allow it to shape us into something stronger. The truth is, challenges are not meant to break us. They are meant to reveal the depth of who we really are. Grace is the shield that allows us to navigate those storms without losing our composure, and resilience is the fire that keeps us moving forward when the path feels impossible. In the years ahead, as we step into new seasons filled with uncertainty and opportunity, the quality that will matter most is not perfection. It is perseverance. It is not about appearing flawless or immune to struggle, but about choosing every single day to keep going, to stay true to yourself even when it is easier to give in, to remain focused when distractions surround you, to hold onto your values even when others try to pull you away from them. That kind of resilience is what defines leaders, families, and individuals who create lasting impact. What makes grace so powerful is that it transforms how resilience is seen. Without grace, resilience can appear hard, cold, or rigid. But when the two are combined, resilience becomes inspiring. It becomes a reminder that strength can be soft, that confidence can be quiet, and that leadership can be compassionate without ever being weak. This is the balance that the world often overlooks, the balance of determination and humility, of strength and compassion, of firmness and Kindness, when we embody that balance, we do more than endure challenges, we set an example for others to follow. And the truth is, people are watching even when we don't realize it. The way you handle a setback at work, the way you respond when life doesn't go as planned, the way you rise after being knocked down, all of it sends a message, not just to the world around you, but to your children, your family, your friends, and those who look to you for guidance. Grace and resilience are contagious. When you demonstrate them, others find the courage to do the same. You may never know the lives you touch simply by refusing to let hardship steal your composure or your vision. I have learned that in leadership, in business, in family, and in every personal pursuit, challenges are not interruptions to the journey. They are the journey. They are the very moments that shape character, refine purpose, and reveal what truly matters. And when you navigate those moments with grace, you show that resilience is not about fighting every battle, but about choosing which battles are worth your energy and which ones you rise above in silence. That kind of wisdom only comes with experience, with reflection, and with the courage to stand firm in who you are. Resilience is not a trait you are born with, it is a choice you make. It is a muscle you build. Each challenge you face strengthens it, each obstacle you overcome adds to it, and with grace you learn not only to endure those moments, but to emerge from them stronger, wiser, and more grounded. That is the kind of resilience that creates legacies. That is the kind of grace that inspires generations. So as we look forward to the days ahead, remember this: strength does not always roar. Sometimes it is the quiet voice of grace that whispers, "Keep going." Sometimes it is the decision to rise again after falling, to move forward without bitterness, to lead with compassion even when it is easier to fight with anger. That is where the true power lies, and it is in that power, grace and resilience together, that we find the courage to build the future we envision. Because in the end, the world will not remember the noise, the criticism, or the struggles. It will remember the strength of character, the dignity, and the resilience that refuse to break. At the heart of every strong individual, every strong leader, and every strong nation lies something very simple, yet profoundly powerful: family and values. These are the foundations upon which everything else is built. Without them, success feels empty, achievements lose meaning, and progress becomes fragile. Family is not only the people we are born into, but the people we choose to share our lives with, those who anchor us when the world feels uncertain, and those who remind us of who we truly are. And values are the compass that guides us when the path ahead is unclear, keeping us steady when distractions try to pull us in 8,000 different directions. When we speak about family, we are not just speaking about bloodlines or traditions. We are speaking about love, loyalty, and the bonds that carry us through every season of life. Family is where resilience begins. It is where character is shaped. It is where we learn to love, to forgive, to sacrifice, and to believe in something greater than ourselves. In a world that is constantly changing, family provides stability. It reminds us that no matter how loud the noise outside may become, there is always a place of trust and unconditional love waiting for us. That is the kind of grounding we all need when stepping into challenges far bigger than ourselves. But family alone is not enough. It must be paired with values, those deeply held principles that determine not only who we are, but how we live. Values are what help us choose integrity over convenience, truth over comfort, and purpose over popularity. They shape our decisions in both the smallest and the biggest moments. They determine how we treat others, how we lead, and how we carry ourselves when no one is watching. Without values, we may achieve success for a time, but it will never last because it is built on shaky ground. With values, however, even the greatest challenges cannot shake us because we know what we stand for and why we stand for it. There is something truly powerful about families who live by their values. They raise children who understand the meaning of respect, the importance of responsibility, and the courage to pursue their dreams. They show that discipline and love can coexist, that compassion does not weaken us but strengthens us, and that unity is not about being the same but about holding on to what matters most. even when opinions differ. This is the kind of foundation that strengthens communities, shapes nations, and carries forward legacies that last for generations. In every home, whether large or small, the lessons we teach and the example we set become the silent teachers for those who are watching us. Children do not always follow advice. They follow example. They watch how we respond to stress, how we treat others, how we hold ourselves in moments of victory and in moments of loss. And those unspoken lessons are what truly shape their character. That is why values matter so much. They do not just influence us, they influence the future we are building through those who come after us. In times of uncertainty, people often ask, where do we turn? What do we hold on to? And the answer again and again is always the same. We turn back to family and we hold on to values. It is in these moments that we realize wealth, status, or recognition can never replace the peace of sitting around a table with those we love, knowing that trust and loyalty are unshakable. It is in these moments that we understand that our decisions mean more when they are guided by principles that will not change, even when the world around us does. The beauty of family is that it is where love teaches us endurance, where loyalty teaches us sacrifice, and where faith teaches us patience. And the strength of values is that they give us direction when everything feels uncertain. Together, they create a foundation that cannot be shaken by storms. They allow us to rise again after setbacks, to find balance in chaos, and to remain true to ourselves in a world that constantly pressures us to become something else. No matter how far we go in life, no matter how much success we may achieve, it is family and values that bring us back to what is real. They remind us that the measure of a life well lived is not found in applause or recognition, but in the impact we leave on those closest to us and in the principles we refuse to compromise. That is why, as we look toward the future, we must protect them, nurture them, and never lose sight of their importance. Because when families are strong and values are clear, everything else we build will stand the test of time. And that is why family and values must always remain at the center of who we are and what we do. When we think about the future, it is easy to let doubt creep in. We see the challenges that surround us, the uncertainty of the world, the divisions that seem so difficult to overcome, and we wonder what lies ahead. But vision has never been about seeing what already exists. It has always been about imagining what is possible. A vision for a better future requires us to lift our eyes above the distractions of the present and see beyond what feels temporary. It requires courage to dream when fear tells us to settle. It demands that we step forward with hope, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. A true vision for the future is not about making promises. It is about creating direction. It is about setting a standard that says we will not only endure, but we will grow. We will not only survive, but we will thrive. And we will not only stand together, but move forward with dignity, purpose, and strength. That vision does not come from outside of us. It comes from within. It comes from believing that our best days are not behind us, but ahead of us, and from choosing to act as though the future belongs to those who build it with faith, discipline, and determination. When we speak about building a better tomorrow, we are not simply talking about policies, programs, or speeches. We are talking about people. We are talking about children who will one day inherit the world we are shaping today. We are talking about families who deserve security, opportunity, and hope. We are talking about communities that long to be united instead of divided, lifted up instead of torn down, and that vision becomes clearer the moment we decide that progress is not measured only in what we achieve for ourselves, but in what we create for others. Every generation has the responsibility to set the stage for the next. What we build today will either empower them or burden them, and that is why vision is so critical, because it ensures that we are not living only for the moment, but for something greater than ourselves. A vision for a better future means investing in what will last, not just what will please us temporarily. It means creating systems of strength, education, innovation, and opportunity that will outlive us. It means living with purpose so that the future we leave behind speaks not just of who we were, but of what we believed was possible. Vision is not naive. It is not blind optimism that ignores the struggles we face. Vision acknowledges the challenges, but it refuses to be defined by them. It looks at division and sees the possibility of unity. It looks at hardship and sees the potential for growth. It looks at uncertainty and chooses courage over fear. That is what makes vision powerful. It gives us the ability to rise above the limitations of today and imagine a tomorrow that is brighter, stronger, and more compassionate. When we carry a vision, we also carry responsibility. It is not enough to see what is possible, we must also be willing to work for it. We must be willing to sacrifice for it. We must be willing to lead by example, not just with words, but with actions that reflect the future we hope to create. A vision without action is just a dream, but a vision with action has the power to transform lives, communities, and nations. And while it may be tempting to let fear dictate our future, fear cannot build, it can only limit. Hope, faith, and determination are the true builders of tomorrow. They allow us to see potential where others see obstacles, to find solutions where others see problems, and to create opportunities where others see limitations. That is what vision gives us, the ability to look beyond what is and lean into what could be. In every great story of progress, there has always been a moment when people chose to believe in something bigger than themselves. That choice has shaped history, advanced societies, and opened doors that once seemed permanently closed, and now it is our choice again. Will we let the difficulties of today define the future, or will we hold onto the vision of something better and move toward it with courage and determination? A vision for a better future does not belong to the few. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to the mothers and fathers raising children with hope in their hearts. It belongs to the students dreaming of opportunities yet to come. It belongs to the workers who strive every day to provide for their families. It belongs to those who have been overlooked, reminding them that they are not forgotten. And it belongs to every person willing to believe that the future can be brighter than the present if we choose to build it together. The world has enough doubt, enough division, enough fear. What it needs more of is vision, the kind of vision that unites instead of separates, that uplifts instead of diminishes, and that inspires instead of discourages. That is the vision for 2025 and beyond, not a vision rooted in what is easy, but in what is necessary, not a vision limited by fear, but one expanded by courage, not a vision that belongs to one, but a vision that belongs to all, because the future will always belong to those who dare to believe it can be better. There comes a time when we realize that life is not only about what we achieve in the present, but about the impact we leave behind for the future. Influence and inspiration are not measured in material accomplishments or fleeting recognition, but in the quiet, lasting ways we shape the lives of others. True legacy is not built in moments of applause. It is built in the consistency of character, in the strength of values, and in the inspiration we provide through our actions. When people look back, they do not remember every detail of what was said or every success that was celebrated. They remember how they felt in your presence. They remember the example you set, the courage you demonstrated, and the compassion you showed even when it was not required. That is the essence of legacy. It lives on not through what we keep, but through what we give, and it becomes powerful when it inspires others to live with the same grace, strength, and dignity. Influence is not about control or authority. It is about leading by example, about showing that integrity and resilience can endure even in the harshest storms. When you live with authenticity, people notice. When you stand firm in your values, people respect it. And when you continue to rise, even after setbacks, people are moved to find that same resilience within themselves. Influence is about showing others what is possible, not by demanding it, but by living it. Inspiration, on the other hand, is the spark that ignites possibility in others. It is what happens when someone sees your journey and realizes they too are capable of something greater. It is what happens when your story reminds them that their challenges do not define them, but refine them. Inspiration is not about perfection. It is about honesty. It is about showing that strength is not the absence of struggle, but the courage to face it. And when others see that, they feel less alone in their own battles. Every choice we make, every challenge we face, and every value we hold creates ripples far beyond ourselves. That is why legacy is so important. It does not stop with us. It continues in the lives we touch. When we choose to live with grace, we inspire others to do the same. When we choose to uphold our values, we encourage others to hold on to theirs. When we lead with resilience and compassion, we create a model of leadership that others can carry forward. This is how influence becomes lasting and how inspiration becomes eternal. The most remarkable thing about legacy is that it often grows quietly. You may never see the full impact of your actions. You may never know the person who decided to push forward because of your example, the child who believed in their dreams because of your encouragement, or the family who found strength in your resilience. But that is what makes legacy so beautiful. It is not about recognition, but about planting seeds that will grow long after we are gone. In the years to come, people will not remember every detail of today. They will not recall every obstacle that stood in the way. But they will remember the way strength was shown, the way dignity was preserved, and the way vision was carried forward. That memory becomes a story, and that story becomes inspiration for the next generation. This is how influence transforms from being temporary into becoming timeless. We all have the ability to leave behind more than we found. We all have the chance to make our lives about more than ourselves. Legacy is not reserved for a select few. It is available to anyone willing to live with purpose, to stand for something greater, and to inspire others through action. And when we recognize this, we begin to live not only for today, but for tomorrow. We begin to think about the example we are setting, the values we are protecting, and the strength we are passing on. As we look toward the future, it becomes clear that the greatest gift we can offer is not perfection, but inspiration. It is the reminder that resilience and grace can endure. It is the influence that shows leadership can be compassionate and strong at the same time. It is the legacy that tells those who come after us that their dreams are possible, their values are worth protecting, and their voices matter. That is the kind of influence that does not fade. That is the kind of inspiration that lives on long after the moment has passed. Because in the end, the legacy we leave is not about what we accomplish. It is about the lives we touch, the courage we inspire, and the example we set for others to follow.